when Alexander comes in as a mercenary to fight the Persians who were here. The Persians were reaping havoc on Kemet. So again, they came in as mercenaries, but if you got a mercenary fighting for you, when they kick out the enemy, what are they going to do? They're going to take over if you can't defend yourself, and that's exactly what happened with Alexander the Barbarian that they taught you to call the great. Nothing great about him, all right? Here they got us to teach us to call him great. That was taken from Nkechi Hudi Mays, the great. That was taken from Ursama At Rasaptep and Ra Mr. Murray Almond, the great. That's where the concept the great came from. But when he took over Kemet, this is where he got Aristotle's to plunder temples like this and up and down the Nile and plundered the scrolls that were here and the libraries and housed it in the Alexandria Library. This is where they started to study ancient Kemet. But after Alexander's death, the Ptolemies took over. His generals took over the march to the empire. Ptolemy I took Egypt. This is what started the Ptolemaic line of 300 years. This is what started the bloodbath during the time of the Ptolemies. They were killing each other to be on the throne. Cleopatra's father that's Ptolemy XII. He is a Greek. That's his background. Now, her mother may have been a Kemetic African, because what the soldiers do when they come in, they rape the women, is that right? That's right. So again, but we see that her background is of a Ptolemaic line. She was closer to this world than she is to ancient Kemet. She was said to be the only one to actually was able to read the Medu Neter, whereas many of the other Greeks could not read the Medu Neter. But the story about her is that her sister and her brother were on the throne. And her brother being Ptolemy the 13th after his father. But here Cleopatra wanted the throne for herself. And during this time when Julius Caesar came into Egypt, here the story is she rolled herself up in a rug. And when Julius Caesar was in the palace, she was able to get her loyal followers to sneak her past her sister Arsinoe, and she rolled herself out to Julius Caesar. And this is where she started to work her magic on him. And working her magic on him, he ended up in the bed with her. And then the next day, Arsinoe and her brother comes in, and Cleopatra is on the throne with Julius Caesar. But Julius Caesar wants a trophy to prove to Rome that he had conquered the Ptolemies. So what does he do? He takes Arsinoe back, Cleopatra's sister, back to Rome, and Cleopatra VII is with him on the throne with Cleopatra, and her sister's in a cage. And they're rolling through the streets. The people are yelling at the fact that Julius Caesar defeated Egypt. Now, because she worked her magic on Julius Caesar, she gets pregnant with Caesarion. Now, her mission is that she wants the power of ancient Egypt as it was in ancient time to come back. And she wants to do that through her son Caesarion, that he would rule over Egypt and Roman Empire. That would make Egypt the world empire again. All right? But it's here that the Senate wasn't going to have that. They come back to Rome again, and with the son, Caesarion, and the Senate is upset because they know that son could be the ruler of Rome. They killed Julius Caesar, the Senate. Cleopatra takes off, leaves Rome because she fears for her death. And now she's upset because the mission that she thought that Egypt could be the empire it was, and it would rule over Rome, is long gone. But there's a general. One of Julius Caesar's generals is named Mark Antony. Now this other one named Octavian, he knows that Mark Antony is a big playboy. And he says that, okay, I will send you to Egypt. He's sending him to Egypt for a reason, knowing that Cleopatra would work her magic on him, and this would enable him to start another war with Egypt, because he knows that what Mark Antony's going to do. Sure enough, when Mark Antony gets down to Egypt, Cleopatra works her magic on him, and she worked her magic so much on him to the fact that Mark Antony told Rome, all the land that we've conquered in Asia, I'm giving that to Cleopatra. I mean, she whipped some stuff up on him. He said, I'm giving all this, all the blood that the Romans shed to conquer these lands, it's all going to Cleopatra, it's all going to Egypt. Oh, that made Rome mad. But that's what Octavian wanted. He wanted to go to war. So he goes to war at Actium. It was a sea battle. It was two naval wars. It was the Kemet, the Egyptians, Kemet, and also Mark Antony, who had the Roman soldiers with him, and also Octavian, who had the Roman army with him. As Cleopatra observed that they were losing the war, she takes off and goes back to Egypt. Mark Antony sees she's taken off. So he goes back. He's following her. They're losing the war. But when Cleopatra gets to Egypt, she tells her loyal followers to tell Mark Antony when he gets here that I committed suicide. So when Mark Antony got there, he said, where's Cleopatra at? Why did she leave in the naval battle? They said, well, she committed suicide because she was losing the war. And he takes his Roman knife and stabs himself and kills himself. Cleopatra walks out and sees he's dead. What's her mission? She wants to work out on Octavian. Octavian's coming. And so here, Octavian comes into the palace and sees Cleopatra, but Octavian, he loves boys. So, so that ain't working. She said, what's happening? My magic ain't working. But see, he was into boys. That's what he was into. He was into men, all right? So that wasn't working at all. So she realized, hey, well, I have no other mission. So she takes and gets some of her loyal followers to go out and get a cobra. To go out to get this cobra. Why does she want this cobra? Because she knows what she saw would happen to her sister, Asinaway, as she was run through the streets of Rome before her death. So she said she'll take a royal death before she let that to be humiliated. She takes this cobra, lays it on her breast. The cobra bites her, and then she got all the loyal nobles around her and put her in a royal dress. So when Octavian runs into the room and thinks he got a trophy, because he don't want her dead, he wants a trophy for Rome to run her through the streets and everything to parade. And there she is lying out in the royal, and all the royalty of a queen that one would have of ancient Egypt, where she took her life. And that trophy he did not have, and said that she was buried in Alexandria, Egypt. And because of that, that's why at that time, here we see Octavian changes his name from Octavian, that represented October, to August. So he becomes Augustus Caesar, because it was August 30th in 30 BCE that he defeated Cleopatra and Mark Antony. And that's what started the whole world from that time to be a Western world. Had Cleopatra won that war at that time, the center of the world would have been Africa. But because she lost that war, that's where we see that the world then comes from Rome, and the European empire started from that particular point.